What is up, humans of the cardboard? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we are talking about future Duelist pack situations. So, long story short, we are getting Duelist pack, Duelist of the Whirlwind, in like a month-ish. Well, I guess almost closer to 2 months. But at the end of October, we should be getting our Duelist of the Whirlwind. But the OCG is already set. They have this reveal that they are getting the next Duelist pack, which is Duelist of the Abyss. So the cool thing here is that Whirlwind is a wind Duelist pack, Abyss is a water Duelist pack. So just extrapolating from that information, they should be doing fire and earth next. I don't think they really need to do light and dark. Those are such huge attributes. They can if they want to. I wouldn't blame them if they want to. They could just have a cool theme. But I think if you're going to do two of the elementals, you need to do the other two. So hopefully fire and earth are up next. So today we are talking about fire, all the possibilities there, because why even wait? I'm just excited to talk about them. Really, hopefully very soon we'll have what the three archetypes for Duelist of the Abyss revealed. I really hope Marine says is in there. That's the only thing I really care about. But yeah, so today we're talking about fires. So I've already gone through, I've looked at like every single fire monster in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I have discerned what has no chance whatsoever, what has a slight chance, and what actually has a decent chance. We're not even going to talk about the ones with no chance. We're going to talk about the ones with a little bit of a chance first, and then we get to the big ones. So starting off here, we have our girl Akiza. There's really not much going on here except for one. The reason I don't think there's a huge chance is Akiza has already appeared in a Duelist pack, so I don't really expect her to end up in a second one, because the only characters that have ended up in two of these things has been because they play two different archetypes throughout the story. She really just sticks to this, and honestly, her deck isn't really fire-based. It's just that Rose Dragon itself, Black Rose Dragon, specifically, is fire attribute. So I can see Konami saying like, okay, Black Rose Dragon is dope. Everybody loves Black Rose. It's fire. It's big. It's cool. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves Akiza. Let's do it. But I don't really think it's that likely. Next up, we have Fire Fist, and this is actually played by this kid in the Yugioh in one of the manga series. So like, again, it's just this little kid in the manga series. I don't even think it appears that much. I think he only does one duel in the manga one time. So again, it's a Duelist pack, not a dual deck pack or deck build pack, whatever. It's a Duelist pack. If they don't have a cool character to put next to the deck, they're not going to pick it. So there's that. Then we have this one. This one's actually interesting. It's like the Skull Flame deck. It's played by this guy, Hunter something. I don't even remember his name. He appears in like a couple episodes in 5Ds. He appears in like literally the first episode, I think, where he's facing like Jack Atlas. And he appears to be that guy that on like the 5Ds dueling circuit or whatever, he's always like just under good enough to like being able to actually hold like the #1 Duelist title. So he's that guy, but his little archetype seems cool. We have a couple of the cards there. I think the designs are cool, and if they wanted to expand on it, I wouldn't be mad. I just worried that the characters, one, not relevant enough, and two, not sure if this is really a whole archetype worth building. So yep. Next up, we have Flamvells. This is played by this kid whose name is Bob. It's really funny to me. But yeah, just a relevant character, not relevant enough. You have Horus, again, like a very, limited screen time villain, but I guess he wasn't even like a real villain. He was just like being controlled by a real villain, I guess. I don't even remember this character, so whatever, not popular enough. And then you have Infernal Flame Emperor, who actually was played by a couple different characters, I believe, in the show, but again, none of them were that relevant. But I could, listen, we got the Fleur cards revealed, and like Sherry LeBlanc wasn't that relevant a character as far as the story goes. So when you look at this, you could be like, well, maybe this would be a kind of like big, cool, classic fire boss monster that Konami might want to say, yeah, let's actually build an archetype around this. This would be dope. But who knows? Who knows what they're thinking? Which takes us to another one of that, which will be, I think this is the last. No. I have one more maybe after this. So Lava Golem is very interesting. Apparently it was played by Merrick. I don't really remember the older episodes that well, to be honest. I don't remember much of Yu-Gi-Oh! The anime. very well. But still, it's a card that was played by Merrick. It's also just considered one of those classic cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! If you're a long-time Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, you know what Lava Golem is. So that could be a really cool card to like build a whole archetype around for sure. And everybody loves Merrick as one of the best villains in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! For sure. And the last maybe here is Soul Burner. Listen, he is one of the few actual protagonists who actually has like a pure fire forward deck. The unfortunate side is like, one, he's from Vrain, so he's still pretty recent, and two, Salamangreats have so many cards and so many good cards. This deck still has 3 cards on the ban list. Stalio, Gazelle, and Circle are still all at 1. So like, I don't know if I see Konami really going out and trying to give 7 cards of support to a deck that has still, even though they just had a card taken off taken off a copy, 3 different cards still on the list. I don't know if I see them going for it like that. And then we get to the actual good options, and there's only 4 of them. There's usually only 4 of them. I mean, that's kind of about where we were with Wind and Water. And then when we get to Earth, it's really funny, guys. There's like there's so many more Earth decks than there are these other decks. It's insane. That video is going to be a little more in depth. I might have to like move a little faster on that one. But here we go. Moving into the first of 4 Battling Boxers. This is a cool one. This is played by Alto from Zexel, I think. Always a cool archetype. I've always thought Battling Boxers were kind of cool, but listen, they're all fire, and this character is actually pretty relevant. I think this may have the single best chance of actually ending up in the finals, the final picks. So that's really, really cool. I think they're solid. I mean, I think they have a nice base. They have a couple of like okay extenders and stuff like that. It's just one of those things where they need like a legit win condition. I don't know if they even have a legit win condition, and they just need some enablers for sure. So yeah, it'd be really cool. I think it's a cool archetype that definitely has needed support for a long time. Hopefully this is their chance. Next up, yeah, Volcanics. I know there's like a whole fucking crazy fan base behind this deck that's been praying for Volcanic support at some point. And I honestly think this could be it. Now, we don't have the pack announced yet, but guys, it's like all but announced. And maybe they do Earth before Fire. So if you're a fan of Volcanics, I'm sorry, but you just got to wait a little longer, because I almost guarantee you it's going to happen. But I think this deck has a really nice start, right? You have Rocket, which is essentially your Stratos. I mean, it searches only 1 card, but if they get other spells or traps or something that, like, say they always count as Blaze Accelerator, that also could give you some, like, utility there. But still, search is the most important part of your deck. The deck actually does some cool things, as long as they can make like the scatter shots and stuff like not super bricky, and honestly make the deck like actually flow better than like it does right now, and actually have like a legit win condition. We could be looking at something really, really cool. So I definitely look forward to it. And as far as the character goes, we have Axel Brody. I think this is a gentleman. I was very confused as a young man what to think there, but whatever. That's not the important part, okay? Volcanics, it's really cool. I'm glad we have a character. This is actually a pretty relevant character as far as when they were present in the anime for GX, which is really cool. So, I mean, if they can throw Sherry LeBlanc, then they can definitely throw Axel Brody in for sure. And I think the last one we have here is this. Red Resonator, but not necessarily red. I guess it's like the red archetype, because it's Jack Atlas. Funny enough, when you really go through Jack Atlas, I think this, so maybe Jack Atlas has a better chance than Alito and Battling Boxers, and maybe Axel Brody, just for the sole fact that he's by far, out of those 3 characters, the most relevant story-wise for the anime he appears in. Jack is like, I mean, second to Yusei as far as like the 5D's anime goes, like maybe the second most, like, second protagonist. He's kind of like, a lot of people call him, like, some people call him knockoff Kaiba, but he's also ends up being like a nicer guy than Kaiba in certain instances. Kaiba never really lightens up really, but I don't know. It's cool. I'm excited for it, because Red Dragon Archfiend, there are some cool Red Dragon Archfiend cards there, and honestly, if they expand on it, we could be looking at something cool. I know he did get a couple cards of support, I want to say a year or 2 ago in a core set, but I don't know if it's enough to really say like, no way they're not going to support Jack Atlas. He is, for how relevant a character he is, all I'm saying is he has not been in a legendary duelist yet. And that was actually surprising me. I had to go back and be like, wait, hasn't Jack been in one? And I looked back and I was like, wow, he actually hasn't been in one. So I think it makes a lot of sense for a character this big that hasn't been used yet. A fire duelist pack feels like the exact spot for them to plop Jack Atlas in as like maybe one of their cover characters, right? Like Red Dragon Archfiend. It's kind of like the, you know, the blue eyes or red eyes of one of them, with like Stardust and obviously some of the other couple Black Rose Dragon of this generation. So definitely has some staying power there. A lot of people like 5Ds. I think that would make sense. I really do. So as far as the main characters go that I think have the best chance, Jack Atlas with his red deck or Red Dragon Archfiend deck, Axel Brody with Volcanics. I'd really like to see this one because I think it would be really cool to see what kind of stuff they can try to do with this. 7 whole cards of support is a good chunk of cards, guys. I would really like to see that. And then Alito with Battling Boxers. Honestly, I would not be mad at all if Konami decided to just use these 3 because they make the most sense out of any characters out there. Not throw in a rando, but you know they like to do that. We just saw it with the Wind, with Duelist of Whirlwind. They threw Sherry LeBlanc in. She doesn't even play a Wind deck. It's literally her one boss monster is a Wind attribute, and they just rolled with that. So, of course, it's going to be really hard to predict 100% correctly what the 3 are going to be when this set like ever does come to fruition, but you could probably pick 2, and then there's probably going to be a random one, and you know, just hope that it's cool, or there's some generic stuff like Sherry's support ended up being. So I'm excited. I think this is really cool. I'm thinking about making the video on the Earth one a little later on here. So, but I want to hear your thoughts. If there's anything I missed here, obviously I'm not a huge anime manga stan for you. I've seen the first 3 series, but I haven't seen much past that. If there's a character that you can think of that isn't on here that you think easily could be, definitely let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything big and important that we missed that might be a possible character. But yeah, that's gonna do it from here today, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below on what you want to see, and if I missed anything, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.